Well, welcome. Sorry, it's a bit slow, the commentary. I was a little bit busy there, and I was a little bit behind, so wanted to get things on the road. Been waiting for some decent weather here, and we're still, well, looks great. It's forecasting on
India Sierra Delta, maintain 4,000, expect better time in about 4 minutes.
Maintain 4,000, India Sierra Delta.
Forecast to be turbulent, but I think it's pretty smooth once we got through about 3,000. Our plan's going to shoot out east to Orbost.
It's 605, contact Avalon Tower 120.1.
So just have a look along the coast and catch some pretty solid tower winds up high. We might get up there and try a stall, which is a new one for me in the Sonex. Meant to have pretty docile stall characteristics, but I personally haven't done it yet and haven't been able to find an instructor, so we'll just do it on a day we're going to have crazy amounts of height, keep everything balanced, and it should be all fun. And from there, come back into Bairnsdale, probably do a circuit or two. So we're passing 6,000 now, up to our cruising altitude of 7,500. Making pretty light work of it. Really, it hasn't felt like it's taken that long. And it's pretty amazing viz, really, compared to some other days. It's up here with a solid inversion layer at 3,000 to 4,000 the other day, and it was just like flying through bushfire smoke. Not even at cruise, and you can see what I'm talking about, indicating 75 in the climb, so some of that is vertical movement. And we've got 110 knot ground speed already, so definitely be coming back a bit lower. Right, but it should be great for this run. Now we just reached 7,500, and this is the highest I've ever taken myself. Definitely the highest in the Sonex. It was 6.5 coming back from our very first flight. So we'll see what we get out of it up here. We'll try and speed up a little bit, but I also want to be pretty efficient with this tailwind and just let it carry me along. You can see.
Melbourne Center, good day. Cessna 172, Echo Whiskey X-ray.
So we're indicating 96, grounding 145. Must be pretty close to zero, the temperature though. I forgot to set my lap bias. This Sonex is they're meant to be flap stops to stop them from bouncing and stuff in turbulence, I believe, but what they work quite well with is get a heavy wing because we're so light, and with only me on one side, we get a left roll. So I'm able to set the flap down ever so slightly, which cancels that out. But I had my wife up here the other day, so I took it out and then got to put it back in as part of the walk around. So we'll fix that when we get to Bairnsdale. Means slightly more hands-on flying, and an already hard to trim aircraft is even harder to trim. Coming up on a pretty big clear area left and right of us, so the hatches and harnesses are secure. Our height is 7.7, needs to get it down to 7.5. Our location, good. This equipment needs to be secured. See that roll straight away. Do a couple of clearing turns. A little bit of stress here. Alright, we're just going to do our configuration. Will just be clean. I think it's probably the only one I'm going to do is power off. Our car peak in. $50. 44. That's the Buffett. Climb back up and we'll try that again. It felt like the left wing was about to give, and I don't really want any drops, so pulled out of it just before, but definitely felt quite docile. There was a lot of noise and buffeting.
Delta Tango, Melbourne Center, recleared from Mangalore, direct to KW.
Got a little bit of speed, myself sorted again. Alright, try that again. Copy. E. 40, it's heavy.
Go to crossing traffic next sector, climb to minutes level 380.
Amended flight level 380, Victor Tango.
Alright, so it seems to be about 35 clean is where we're starting to sink before that, so I don't think I'm necessarily pulling back quite hard enough. But that's where I'm starting to feel that the wing's going to drop on me. But it's probably stalling technically a little bit above that speed.
Ships 435, descent at 9,000.
So it's been docile so far. We'll go ahead and put in 2 stages of flaps. We're below 80 RP. Start to slow it down a little bit. Go. Same thing. Balance.
Juliet, Whiskey, we'll cancel watch on the ground and off normal till 3 dive up here.
Alright, we seem to get to about 30. That probably wasn't a very good stall for any flight instructors watching. I think I had a reasonable amount of descent before I actually back. I need to be more aggressive on the but well, that's okay. That's first stalls for the Sonex. That's a little bit of a confidence boost that it's not immediately just going to give out on me, at least in straight and level flight. So I have pretty high safety margins in the circuit. We're working on about 35 today. I usually set my not below speed at 60, where once I get below that it's starting to be a bit of panic stations. And that's almost, what's that, close to 1.9 times VS 1 I think, sorry. Blanking while I'm up here. So quite a wide safety margin. But this aircraft's pretty slow to, don't want to be doing 40 in the circuit, get overtaken by a drifter. If you're watching and you have any questions, just throw them in the comments, it'd be good. Give me something to talk to up here. A lot of the time I'm just rocking around seeing the sights, which I will aim to show you better. I'll looking to get an outside camera, but till then, if there's questions about the Sonex or about flying in Melbourne or anything, I'm still a pretty junior PPL, but I do my best to pass on my experience. And appease the algorithm for me, please, if you could leave a like. Much appreciated. Getting to a seriously, well, I guess we are at a seriously beautiful part of Victoria. I believe this is Lake's entrance. And it's a shame that there's these 2 fields. There was the actual Lake entrance one, which was quite cheap, reasonably priced to land out with a cafe next to it, that I wanted to go to, but it seems like it's not being maintained anymore. It's just for helicopters. And then there's the Great Lakes airfield, which looks great, but At $60 a landing for my tiny little Sonex. Probably a bit steep unless I'm coming to stay for the weekend or something. So, probably have to give these ones a miss for now. There's Fraser Island, which I'm going to try and see as I go past. It's like a little, I think there's a hotel, like, or at least an Airbnb. Maybe not an Airbnb, but a B&B. That used to be able to land at. Oh, actually, I can see it. And it is just covered in shrubs, so I guess that is also out of the question. So, petition to bring back the lake's entrance. I'll pay $20. $20 to land. Actually, I take it back.
Hold station and down to SM information, Charlie. Okay.
I misjudged how far I could see. I believe I'm seeing Fraser Island now. Right. That, again, there should be Fraser Island. And the runway actually looks pretty good to me. See anything on it? Looks like a nice mode strip. You know, it's 7,500, so take that with a grain of salt, but be worth trying to pop in, although the reviews say that the house itself's pretty run down, but still a pretty cool place to fly in. Nice and smooth. Don't strangle it. Short. Better run out of engine. That's a bit high. Oh my goodness, what the fuck? Oh my god. What was that? Flaps away. Oh, that's not going on YouTube. Flaps. Fuel. Oh my god. Carby heat is off. Bandsail traffic, Sonex 8706, clear of all runways, bandsail. Recommend do better landing than that.
We weren't watching, you're safe. It's all good. Bandsail traffic,